Okay, welcome to part 2, and in this part I'm going to be talking about how you figure out what size circle to use. And I have to be honest, for this card I just guessed. I picked a circle that was big enough to fit the happy, and it was just by luck that the birthday fit. I did move it in a little bit to make it fit. By trial and error, I saw that if I put it way out on the edge, there was a little bit more space between the birthdays, and then so I moved it in a little bit towards the center so they would have less space between them. But this was guesswork and trial and error, and I've come up now with, using Cyndie's templates, a way to figure out what size circle you want to use, or if you are using a certain size circle that you've already picked, which size outer shape you want to use, and maybe where you want to position it on your circle. So to start off with, I have 2 circle die sets that I've been using, and this one is Your Next Stamps circle die set of 8, and I just got this one in the mail. It's the Lifestyle Crafts Nesting Circles, and it actually has 20 different size circles in it, so that's really awesome. But what I did was, what you'll see here is, and let me show you on this smaller set first, I've gone ahead and die cut each one of those circles from pink paper and white paper, and you can do this however you want, but basically I wanted to have all the sizes of circles available so that I can use it to judge which circle I want to use. And then when I got my set of 20, I also went ahead and did the same thing. This time I used colored cardstock just because I wanted to use a number of different colors, and I don't have that many different colors of paper. But once you stack these all up, it can get really thick. So I've actually left off a number of the circles, and mostly I'll probably be stamping in the larger sizes anyway, so I can just use this bottom piece. But if I ever want to use a smaller circle, they're there for me to test out with. So that's the first step, and these are going to be like your measuring guides. Now first, let me show you how you pick which circle you want to use. Let's say I have, and I'm going back to my Happy Everything stamp set from Mama Elephant. Oops. Let's say I have the word holidays, and I know I want to stamp it 8 times. So I need to get out my octagon template, and I will get my set of circles, and what you do is you put your acetate template over your circles and make sure that it is centered underneath the acetate. Then you're going to take your word holidays and look at it on this pink layer. Is it going to fit between those two? These two, this triangle is telling you what's going to fit on each of those circles. So you're going to look at your holiday stamp and see, is it going to fit between the triangle? And it does for this layer, and it still does on the white layer. It's getting pretty close on this next pink layer. So that might be a little bit of an overlap, and then it's just too small on that next white layer. I hope you can see all of that. So my best bet would be the largest circle, which is the pink, or the second largest circle, which is the white, because both of those will fit the word holidays 8 times. Now, if I want to only stamp it 6 times, I'll get out my hexagon template, and again, the same thing. You want to center your circles underneath the template, and then this triangle, just pick any one of the triangles, and that's going to be where things will fit on those different size circles. So I take my holidays, and you can see that on the pink layer there's a lot of space around the outside of that. So I would move my sentiment in towards the center until I get to a circle that's going to hold it a little bit better, and that would be this pink layer, or even this white layer would probably hold it. And so that's how I know for stamping it 6 times I want to use this white layer or this pink layer. I'll have a little bit more space between the words on the pink layer and a little bit less space on the white, but they'll both still fit 6 times on these circles. On the other hand, if you want to pick a circle, a specific size circle, like this one, because that's what I did with this one, is I picked the circle because it would fit the word happy. So let's say I've picked this circle and I want to use the Mother's Day. Or actually, I put my Mother's Day sentiment somewhere, so let me just use the Father's Day because it's about the same size. I would take that, and let's say I want to use this, but I don't know how many times it's going to stamp along the edge of this circle. So the first thing I would do is I go to my octagon, because that's just the first shape that I tried out, and the octagon is really easy to use on the MISTI. So what I'm going to do is center it using the circles and the tick marks on the spokes. You center it. If you are having a hard time centering it that way, what you can do is actually find the center of your circle and mark the center, and then you can just line up that center point on your center of your circle. But it's actually pretty easy to line up using these circles. I know it's going to be all within this circle, and then it's going to be between the larger tick mark and the smaller tick mark within the edge of the circle. So you go around the spokes and you see that it's the same thing all the way around, midway between that larger tick mark and the smaller tick mark. So I know this is centered. Now I'm going to take my Father's Day, and right away I notice when I put it down on my triangle it doesn't fit. So it is not going to fit onto this circle 8 times. So what I'm going to do is try my hexagon. So same thing, you want to take your hexagon, center it, and then you want to take your Father's Day sentiment, and that fits perfectly between those 2 spokes. So now you know if I use this size circle, I will be able to stamp the Father's Day sentiment 6 times around my circle and it'll fit. And that's what I've actually gone ahead and done with this one. With the Mother's Day, I stamped it and it came out to 6 times around my circle. So those are 2 different ways. You can either pick a circle beforehand and see what will fit, or you can decide which circle you want based on how many times you want to stamp something. So that is part 2, and I wasn't watching the frame, so I hope everything was in frame because I zoomed in. But that is part 2 of how to use the guide templates. And in case you missed it, I'm going to have a part 3 showing you how to use the cardstock templates for actually stamping in your MISTI. So I hope you'll join me for part 3. Thanks for watching.